this is Jessica with Dining Traveler, and welcome to the Dining Traveler cooking series where we try dishes from our favorite destinations, and we're on location in my favorite destination of them all, Puerto Rico. And I'm at Rio Grande at Casa Alternavida with the executive chef Ivonne Martinez. And what are you going to teach us to make today?
So today we're making a recent creation of mine inspired by our local ingredients and our local comida típica, typical food. We're gonna call it Pasteluría. It's a cross between...
I love the name.
Yeah, it's a cross between Pasteles and Alcapurría, but we're making it healthier. We're gonna bake it instead of frying it.
Well, sounds delicious, so let's get started. So chef, what are the first steps?
So first we're gonna make our masa, or our dough. We're gonna take our mixture of green plantains, jautía lila, some pumpkin, some culantro or recao, which is flat leaf coriander.
And I see the viandas are soaked in water. Is that something you want to do before?
If you want to be prepared ahead of time, you can soak them in water. That way it helps the root vegetable not get brown or yellow in color, because then your dough is going to be affected that way. Okay. So I like to do it like that in a restaurant, right? When you have to cook for a lot of people, or here in Casa Alternavida when we have our retreats. We like to prepare beforehand, and I get the staff to help me. You know, we all help each other. We're gonna add first our chayote oil or annatto oil. I actually use a little bit of bacon fat when I cook bacon for the breakfast. I like to render the fat, save it, and mix it with that chayote oil, and that gives it a great flavor. So obviously, if you don't eat pork or you're vegan, we'll omit that. Use extra virgin olive oil and your chayote. We want a little bit on the bottom because we want it to help incorporate the vegetables. We don't want them to burn or overcook. So we're gonna add our plantains. I cut them in about 1-inch slices. I used about 3. You're gonna have the recipe like I said before. We're gonna use our jautía lila. You can also use jautía blanca if you can't find the jautía lila. Or if you wanna switch it up, you can use yuca or cassava. Our pumpkin. Now we're gonna add some fresh oregano that I got from the garden.
Yum, it smells delicious.
Yes, if you don't have this type of oregano, you can use dry oregano. And we're gonna add our seasoning, our homemade sazon. This is my sazon. Instead of using store-bought, I like to make it from scratch, and I add some turmeric, which is a natural anti-inflammatory, which is healthier. So we're gonna add our seasoning, and we're gonna add the culantro or recao. If you don't have this, we can use fresh cilantro or fresh coriander.
And I actually have been lucky in the States that I find it at the Vietnamese supermarkets. I live in the DC area, so you can find them at Asian supermarkets.
Oh, that's awesome. Now I'm gonna add an additional chayote oil as well on the top to help it, blend a little better. So we're gonna cover this, and it's important, we're gonna add our Vitamix attachment. It's kind of like a pilón, I call it, right?
And el pilón eléctrico.
Exactly. So keeping up with the Puerto Rican vibe. So we're gonna blend this together while pushing with the stick. I think this is about ready. It's very quick and easy. Be careful because the chayote and the turmeric stain.
Yes. So Vitamix high-speed piece of equipment. I have one at home and I love it. And if you can afford it, get one. But for those who don't have it, is it better to do a food processor? Like, how would you get that masa done? Okay,
traditionally in Puerto Rico, this type of dough is made by hand with a box grater.
Yes.
So you can do that. If you can't afford, if the electricity goes out, you can use the box grater. Or you can use your, there's 2 ways. You can use your food processor using the blade and just pulsing so you don't over mix it and heat up, right? If you overheat the food processor, it might add some moisture to your dough and it will be a little runny and won't be as good. But you also can use the food processor with the grater attachment to it on the top. The one with the big holes that we use for like cheddar cheese and stuff like that, you can use that for the dough if you don't have a Vitamix.
Okay, good to know.
Okay, so our dough is ready. Look at the beautiful color we have. So now we're gonna prepare our banana leaves, which is gonna add an additional flavor to the pasteluría.
Oh, yum.
So the ingredient that gives this pasteluría that distinct pastel and alcapurría flavor is the green plantain leaf. So we're gonna soften this a little bit. We're gonna cut it in the size of the diameter of the vessel we're gonna use. We're gonna use these baking cups. So we're gonna cut it into small little squares. And we're gonna add some chayote oil that we have left over from the dough. And we're just gonna soften these banana leaves till they're pliable, only a little bit. Because that, when we cook it in the oven, is gonna give that dough an extra delicious layer of flavor. We're just heating this up slightly till they're pliable. And we're gonna use this to coat the inside or line the inside of our ramekins or any baking dish you want. Yeah, you can find these, like you said, in specialty stores. If not, you can use a little bit of parchment paper with the chayote oil. That works as well, because this is gonna add to the color of the pasteluría. So this is ready.
So we're on to the next step. Everything smells delicious. So what are we gonna do now?
Okay, now we're gonna take our plantain leaves that we softened with the chayote oil, we made pliable. We're gonna insert them in our ramekins. And we're gonna add our dough first. We're gonna add 1 scoop of our masa. Now we're gonna add our filling. In this case, we're doing ground beef organic that I cooked. I stewed a little with some cilantro, some bay leaf, some salt. I kept it very simple, very local flavor. So we're gonna add about 1 spoonful in the center. And now we're gonna add another scoop of the masa on top. And with a little spatula, or even with a knife or a butter knife, or even a spoon if you don't have it, we're gonna flatten it so it's nice and even and merged together. So this is our final product, so you can see here how beautiful this looks. And the good thing about this, you don't have to use ground beef. You can use a lot of different fillings. When we do vegan retreats or vegetarian, we use chickpeas, we can use pigeon peas, some zucchini, yellow squash can be the filling. You can use braised chicken. Here is very popular, I know you know this, hueles.
Yeah, crab.
Yeah, you can use crab, you can use conch, octopus, the sky's the limit. So after our masa is cooked about 45 to 60 minutes at 300 degrees Fahrenheit, we're gonna plate this in a banana leaf that we haven't cooked. And what I serve to accompany this dish, I want something very refreshing. So I did a chayote salad that has a little bit of tomato, mango, some recao as well to lighten the heaviness of the pasteluría. Very simple. I'm gonna drizzle a little bit of the chayote oil for garnish as well. And your beautiful pasteluría is ready.
And now we're getting ready to dig in, and I've been smelling this all morning, so I'm very excited. And buen provecho.
Buen provecho.
Qué rico. And it is slightly crispy, like even though it's not fried, it's all baked. And you mentioned stuff from the yard, and you guys here at Casa Alternavida have tons of stuff that you guys grow. So what do you have here?
So we have guanábana, we have acerola, which is my favorite. We have quenepas, we have mango. We have a lot of herbs. We have parsley, we have oregano, 2 types of oregano, brujo and the typical one. But we try to either grow everything here or we buy from a co-op farmers called Frutos del Guacabo. They're from Manatí, and they're over 30 farmers, and we buy from them. They even have their own goats and they make their own cheese. They're awesome, and I highly recommend them.
Awesome. And I'm going to continue to eat. So before we do that, thank you so much.
Oh, it's a pleasure to have you.
Chef Ivonne, we had so much fun this morning. And make sure you guys check out Casa Alternavida, where Chef Ivonne is the executive chef. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Gracias. Adios.
Okay, so normally we would use a machete to cut down the whole section, but what we want to do is we actually want to have, well, I think Chef Ivonne said she only needed 3 plantains, and the rest of these can still grow a little longer, and so we like to take them as we're cooking. So I'm going to leave the machete and instead use some clippers just to simply clip from the top the plantains that we're going to use for the recipe. So these are great. The ones from the top are ideal because they're the ones that are the oldest, and we just keep taking them from the top. And here we have it, some fresh plantains so that Chef Ivonne can make some more beautiful food for all of us.